Some of you may have paid attention to the car on the back in the last video, or you read the title on this video, and you can probably guess what kind of car I am working on today. I'll give you a walk around and show you what I've done so far. Now this is my 1999 Pontiac Firebird Formula. It does have a V8 under that hood and a manual transmission. Right now it's already on jacks because, well, I'm dropping the engine. First thing I did was get rid of the exhaust tip. I also unbolted the shifter. Disconnected the exhaust on this point, and right away mounts to the headers on the other side. Front brake lines are disconnected. I drained the coolant and disconnected these two hoses going to the water pump, thermostat housing, the intake, steering column right there, the engine oil out. I want to avoid evacuating my AC system and refilling it, so I unbolted the mount bolts, and I'm gonna keep the lines on and try to wiggle it out of the way. So unbolted the sway bar because it's bolted to the frame. This is our setup. California sunlight is relentless. This transmission mount, you gotta make sure you support the transmission. So I'm gonna put this up here so that it doesn't fall on my face. After those, we're doing the strut mounts. Disconnected this bar that goes along with the drive shaft. Keep your bolts organized so that you know when you put them together where they go. We're getting ready to pull the whole car up to unbolt the K-member, and we'll leave the engine down. Not the most proper setup, but it'll work.
You don't care about getting demonetized or what, dude?
I'm not.
Are you recording right now?
I forgot to disconnect the wiring, so we're trying to figure out where all the wires go to. Most of these are gonna come down with the engine. we had to disconnect the starter and the ABS sensor to get these wires unwedged from this AC line. And now we want to figure out how to disconnect this loom. The reason why we couldn't disconnect that wire loom is because the jackass before me did a little tricky job right here with all the wires. So I gotta figure out what to do with this before I decide to make it worse. I don't have the tool to disconnect this fuel line from the fuel rail, so I just took the fuel rail with the injector. This is the clutch slave cylinder line. I decided it would be easier to disconnect the transmission because the slave cylinder is inside the transmission and it is connected to the firewall. Transmission is disconnected, so now we're just relying on 2 jacks to balance the engine out. Okay. Okay, so we're lowering this engine hoist, the cherry picker, onto some jack stands so that we can get it out of the way. We got another problem. This brake line has some tension. I disconnected this brake line from the rotor, the caliper, I'm sorry, but it was still connected to the K-member, so we just disconnected it and put it to the side.
Back to you, Tom.
The other side runs all throughout the steering rack, then up until it hits the ABS module, so we're gonna disconnect it from out there. I need a shorter slot. Don't forget to collect your fluids. Now that we're sure that everything's disconnected from the chassis, we put this strut bar to connect both struts so that we can get this out easier. Now all of our clearances look good, so we're gonna try to take the engine out. were able to pull this crankshaft bolt with a 15-16 socket, and this big gun took like 20 seconds.
Are you going longer? Go shorter. That's what she said. That's a lot of head bolts.
Wow.
Hi, Crank.
Cat.
Cam. My name is Crank. How are you?